Going live. We are live, everyone who might not be here, might be here, who knows? Hello, I am with Joshua this evening because nothing says Eesti Laul Estonian fans like a Dutchman and a British person.
Yeah, exactly.
The two babies of Eurovox as well doing this one.
As well, yeah.
Yeah. We have just finished watching Eesti Laul. The first song of Super Saturday has been released. I'm just going to flip the camera around so it looks like I am speaking in that direction. And we have our winner. And what a shocking winner it was. No one saw this coming.
Nobody.
It was a shock to us all. I was on the edge of my seat for the results throughout the entire show. But in the end...
The odds really did not expect this as well.
The odds had no idea. It had no idea. And for anyone that doesn't know, who has been living under a rock or is terrible at predicting, it is the winner, Tommy Cash, with the song ESPRESSO Macchiato. Have you seen how much it won by, Joshua?
Well, with the juries, yes, but with the televote, not. Did the results leak?
In the super final, no, not leaked. They just revealed it. In the super final, he got 83% of the vote.
Jesus Christ.
83%.
How is that possible?
Well, basically, 83% of Estonians voted for no. He's very famous. I think we'll come on to that sort of thing with Tommy Cash and various things like that. Let's go to some people in the comments. We have a couple people who have joined us here. Yeah, we've got a couple people. Let's say hi to them nice and early. If you could stay for us for help, that'd be much appreciated. Vet Images, love to see you. Where are Hav and Roy this year? We don't have anyone called Hav or Roy. I think you might be looking at the wrong channel. Do you mind clarifying? I mean, they say here, where's Tommy? Tommy is around. He is a very busy man, Tommy. He is an incredibly busy man, but he is around. You'll see him at some point during this Eurovision season. He hasn't left us. Don't you worry about that. FF, lovely to see you. Always a regular on this channel. I hope this somehow doesn't qualify. We'll get on to predictions later. You might be praying there. And Dennis Honga, Tommy Cash forever. You're going to have to forgive me. I do not know how to pronounce your name
me neither.
there. But when the results have happened, they have happened. They happened pretty much when the artists were announced, but the official results, have happened. Tommy Cash has won, beating in the super final Andrei Sokin and An-Marlen. Is the key headlines you need to know from Eesti Laul. Vet Images, why not? Do you think Ireland will qualify this year? Simple answer, Joshua, yes or no?
50-50, so no, yes, no.
I would put it borderline qualifier at this point, but we still have a lot of songs to go. I'm assuming you're Irish. Vet Images, thank you for joining us this evening. Obviously, throughout, there are going to be many results coming in, many other shows, so we do appreciate you joining. Norway will probably be revealed during this.
The jury is going on now.
The jury's going on now. Wonderful. But let's talk about Estonia. That is what we are here to talk about, Tommy Cash's victory. So let's start with just our thoughts on the performance and the song itself. Joshua, I know this was something that was predicted miles away, but now it has officially happened. What are your thoughts on Estonia's entry for Eurovision 2025?
Yeah, I'm in a really 50-50 here because I love the song from the beginning. It has been in my top 8 national final songs of the 350 that are out now. It's in the top 8 since the beginning, so it has been a fan favorite of me. But over the weeks, I started to you hear it more and you're okay, now I heard it a few times. It's becoming less fun. So it dropped a little bit to 8. And it was my third favorite as well, An-Marlen and Andrei were my 2 favorites. And now I'm seeing it live and I don't want to say it, but it was not what I expected. It was way worse. The vocals were not on point. It felt a little bit too goofy, even for him. I know him for years, and he is a rapper, really bouncy beats. He's amazing live, one of the best of Europe, I would actually say. And this was just not it. His opera voice with the Mi Amore part was also not on key. For me, it fell a little bit apart live, but I think he won by such a landslide because there was not really, almost everybody sang a little bit off, if you ask me this night. So what do you think about it?
So when it comes to just to comment on that last point, Eesti Laul is not necessarily the national final known for the best vocals on the night. Sadly, they can sometimes be a more song quality over vocal, which is completely fair. But it wasn't terrible overall. I feel like there was no like massive surprises in terms of poor vocals, I think, on my end.
No.
But it just not the best. Tommy Cash, I'm similar to you. I actually quite like the song in itself. It sort of grew off me, but still, like, it stayed on my playlist. And it's still...
same.
I saw that performance though, and in hindsight, I don't know what I was expecting, but I feel like I should have thought I probably wouldn't like it, because I think the problem is everyone thought going in when they see Tommy Cash's name, they go, right, he's going the Jos Klein route, he's going the Kalia route with the song. And he didn't do that with the song, which I actually appreciated. I kind of don't want an annual tradition of the Kalia sound every year. You know, I don't want that because it gets boring after a while. But so he brought this, you know, slightly different style. It's quirky still, but it's more catchy. It's more like, you know, something you'd hear in normal pop. The performance, however, is still that Kalia Jost ilk. And I would argue this one comes across more gimmicky than actually like charming as Jost and Kalia sort of were able to do. And I think the problem there is when you mix the combination, it just looks weird. Now, no disrespect to Tommy Cash, he doesn't seem like this. He does come across a bit weird. I think he will admit that himself, just in general life. But it was one of those where this is not the greatest comment. When I saw this, I saw it and I thought, I get Eurovision 2008 vibes. I get the gimmick era, which I'm sort of like, it's a shame, really, because I think we all knew it was like, well, Tommy Cash is winning. Let's just see if the performance matches up. For me, this was not the best performance of the night. And it's one of those where I'll come on to my thoughts on Eesti Laul a bit later, but with this winning, I think it is a fine choice. I don't hate the song. It's not like, oh, well, this is dead on arrival or anything like that. It's just a bit disappointing. Which is a shame, really. For a couple other comments, we have, one other comment. Lackey and Spiky, who won? I didn't watch it. You could have seen it probably from the start. Tommy Cash won it. Guys, in the comments, please do let us know. What do you think about Tommy Cash? What do you think about all the other songs in Eesti Laul? We will get to them. We will get to every comment at this point. If we got this number, we will get to your comment and we will respond to it. As long as it's nice. Don't be any hate on us. We're not going to respond to those ones. But yeah, that is our thoughts on Tommy Cash. Throughout, let us know your thoughts on Tommy Cash. We will talk about other songs, but we can always circle back around to him. He's the winner after all. So
actually,
go on.
You said 2008. It reminds me so much. Like the song, I thought it could be like the winner of the televote of Eurovision, but seeing it live, it reminded me a lot of 2012 Montenegro, like the Euro Neuro song. It was like, it reminded me so much of it.
I can see what you mean.
Quality-wise.
I mean, to clarify, Expression Macchiato is a better song than it.
Yeah.
We're not saying that, guys. We're not saying that.
That's for sure, yeah.
But anyway, this obviously did compete in a super final. Well, compete. We knew it was winning. It by the letter of the law, it competed in a super final, and it was up against the two A's. It was up against An-Marlen and then Andrei Sevakin and Kalita. Let's start with the third place, I think, for this. Let's start with An-Marlen, who got into the super final. What were your thoughts on her entry, her performance? Because also, I will say, before I get into my thoughts, good on her, because the last time she took part in Eesti Laul, she didn't even make it past the quarterfinals of the 2022 contest where it had 40. So massive improvement for her. But that being said, what are your thoughts on An-Marlen?
Yeah, I loved her song. She was my fourth place of all of the national final songs. So I really love her song this year. Yeah, such a really magical vibe, but like seeing it live, it was really good. It was better than I expected, but still it was not like the performance I thought would win over Tommy Cash or André. Like I really liked it. It would have been my second overall for sure. But yeah, it doesn't surprise me that she did not win. But I really liked it, and she surprised me in quality-wise. I think she handled it good.
So I think this was the best result that she could have asked for. Because no disrespect to any act, no matter how good you were not beating Tommy Cash. And that's not because of, a quality thing. It's because of the fame. And again, we'll come on to that in a bit, I think, with Eesti Laul. But with An-Marlen, again, she drastically improved on her last result. I was a bit surprised she did as well as she did, because I never massively clicked with the song. I heard the quality in it. I thought it was good. I didn't love it as much as everyone else. The stage performance, though, very nice. I love the theming. I love the vibe of the performance. I think it worked quite nicely at An-Marlen. The thing that shocked me is Eesti Laul is a national final where girl bops go to die. To be quite blunt, girl bops don't tend to do well, especially the fan favorites. You look at like Six from 2021, for example, countless others. Maybe I can't remember, maybe off the top of my head. But that being said, An-Marlen pleasantly surprised me, and yeah, it's very good, and I can't wait to see what she does next. I think she's a fantastic singer and performer, and the future is bright for her. I've just got a message from Andy actually as well. We might be getting another guest in at some point, so prepare for that. Other people in the chat. Any thoughts on An-Marlen? Please do let us know. We will get to them. We will circle back around to them. Any thoughts in general? Rye Bailey has joined us in the chat. I will say, lovely to see you, Rye Bailey, as always. New Tommy win shouldn't have been bothered with the show. He says win there. I mean, you make a point, but we were down for the live, so we had to watch. We had to watch and comment. Ryan Bailey wanted Minimal Wind to win, but the vocals were bad. We might get on to acts like Minimal Wind and some various others that just missed out on the super final very soon. But let's get on to our second place now. We have, actually, before we do that, I think the person joining might need the link. So excuse me for one moment. Apologies for this, guys. Usually this is sorted throughout. This is a perfect time, I think, for you guys to leave your comments while I sort this out.
And also, we have the winner from Norway now.
We have the winner. Who is it?
You want to know it?
Go on then. Who is it?
Kyle.
Yeah, okay, fair enough.
With a landslide, by the way.
Landslide, God.
Yeah.
Okay, wow. I think I can see Norway win. I can see Norway has just finished because all the people coming into the stream. Who was Natalie second, I'm assuming?
Yeah, and Bobby Socks second with the televote and third overall.
We are joined by the lovely Millie, everyone. Now, hello, Millie. We were just discussing Norway's just finished while we
won?
Kyle Alessandro.
Okay, that was
apparently by a landslide. Guys, if you want to hear Norway's thoughts, we are doing a separate live stream on MGP, so feel free to check that out. But actually, no, stay here. We stay here with the Eesti Laul party.
We are better.
Yeah, we're still chatting.
Millie, we'll actually come to you quickly because we have briefly discussed a couple songs. What was your thoughts on Tommy Cash's victory tonight?
I don't like the song. I don't think that's a secret within Eurovox. I'm not, and this is from someone who likes Tommy Cash. I enjoy Tommy Cash's music. I find the song to be a bit lazy. I find it to be a bit boring. I don't know. It's not for me. It's not for me. I understand why people like it. A bit of fun, you know. We all love a bit of fun, but it's not for me, I guess. I don't know. I was so hyped when I heard he was in Eesti Laul, and then I listened to the song and I was like, oh, okay. All right. Yeah, okay. If that's what we're doing. And I found the staging to be, he was on the stage and he danced and he had a good time. I mean, if Estonian people are happy, Estonian people are happy. For me, it's in my bottom ranks of my list and my scoreboard. If people are happy, they're happy. I thought there were better songs in the national final that I would have rather seen go to Eurovision. But then again, I didn't vote. I couldn't vote. So do what you want, whatever you want to do.
Do what you want, whatever you want to do. Michael Dean Gray, I met this guy in person. He's a lovely guy. I don't even care that Tommy's vocals were weak on stage. That ESPRESSO MACCHIATO performance with the bodyguards was the funniest thing I've ever seen. You clearly weren't watching Malta last week, though, to be fair, Michael. But that's yeah. I don't know whether funny is the correct thing I want at Eurovision. Who knows? But if that works for you, Michael, absolutely fine. Apologies, I'm going to butcher your name here. Cecilia Dottera. It's just a load of letters. I apologize. If that's your actual name, no, I shouldn't say that. It might be your actual name. Thomas Solala. I'm assuming that has something to do with Tommy Cash. But guys in the comments, we have 78 people in this live stream currently. Please let us know your thoughts on Tommy Cash and any other song. We're going to go now. We just discussed An-Marlen. Let's go to the other song that made the super final and basically the winner of the best of the rest, as we were trying to figure out who it is. Andrei Sevekin and Kalita with their song. What was your thoughts, Millie? We will start with you for this one. What was your thoughts on the duo and their placement of second?
I love that song. That was my winner. Along with An-Marlen. They were both up there for me. I thought the stage I thought it was really interesting the way they did it. I thought it was really well staged with like the POV camera at the start and like kind of cutting to each one of them, and it was kind of blurry. It was almost like you were like really drunk on a dance floor almost. It kind of felt like that. That was my standout, and I think it stood out more to me personally than Tommy Cash would have done. But I understand why Tommy won. But that right before him, it was like I think I posted it on Blue Sky. I said it's like night and day to me in terms of quality, in my opinion. Obviously, you guys can like what you like, but it really stood out. It was one of my favorites of the night. Definitely, it was up there. It was my top 2. It was my winner probably.
Yes. Yeah, that's fair. And also, at any point, if you want to plug your Blue Sky for people to follow you, Millie, feel free to do
wait, I forgot what my at is.
You can put it in the chat, put it in the comments, whatever you feel like. While you find your at, Joshua, your thoughts on the second. There we go.
In a Millie on Blue Sky, guys.
You can always put it in the. If you can't see that, you can always put it in the comments after to try and find her there. Joshua, your thoughts on Andre? Because this is his best result actually in Eesti Laul. He has been a couple times. Brings his girlfriend on, and he does all right. So, what were your thoughts on this?
This is my 3rd time he's my favorite of Eesti Laul. So he has been my favorite every time he participated. This time he was my favorite of the whole Eurovision season. He could have been my number 1 so far. So really gutted he did not win. Yeah, I thought I was really afraid of the vocals because the studio version is so heavily auto-tuned. I thought this can be a mess. And it was his girlfriend's first live performance, I believe, ever.
Yes. Yeah. On that biggest stage. On that biggest stage.
Yeah, on a out of a gig. So I was really afraid of it, but it sounded actually pretty good live. His vocals were very screamy and almost very aggressive, and I thought that fit the song really good. So I was really pleasantly surprised, and I really thought after Tommy's that bad performance, I thought oh, maybe Andre actually has a shot. But yeah, 83% of Estonia thought otherwise. So yeah,
thinking or hoping, Joshua. There's a clear difference there in the word.
Yeah.
In terms of performances, was the best of the night for me. I have to agree. I like your analysis of it, Millie, with the club feel. That is what I'm sure they were going for there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I was a bit worried because he's not known for being the best vocally, Andre. I think he hit the notes that he was meant to in the performance. You know what? It's a bit shouty, but it was a bit shouty in the chorus bit. But that can be, hypothetically, if he were to win, that could be polished. But I love the concept of the stage. I think it could have worked very nicely at Eurovision. Let's go to some more comments here. Astro saying the duo were the best for sure. Yes, they were. Well, I'm assuming you mean that duo, not there was a fit Estonian one with a mustache and that. But I'm assuming you don't mean that duo. It was Wolup or something like that. Was that name?
Yeah, I love that one.
That was such a vibe. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's the vibe of, well, you're not winning, but it's lovely you're here.
I was chilling out.
Secret saying, Vocia, apologies, I do not know what that means in English, whether that is a positive or negative. Katesi saying, yeah, Tommy Cash, national final performance is mess, but we know it's going to be fire in Basel.
I hope so.
I will say, if he's saving something for Basel, would rather him just do it now so we don't have to criticize it until Basel, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah. But I like the song. It's not jury friendly, but semi-final only televote, and it's a televote friendly song. Oh yeah, I don't think we're questioning that much. And Bella, thank you so much. It means winner. Fair enough. Thank you very much. So before we get into more general thoughts on Eesti Laul, I'm going to say, there's 13 other songs that we haven't discussed. I'm going to give you each a chance. Give me your favorite outside of the top 3 and why you're a bit gutted it didn't get into that top 3. Let's start with you, Joshua.
Yeah, actually, my top 3 of the night were my top 3. So
you're all set then. Lucky you, Millie. We'll get to that.
But my wild card of the night was Gem 98, I believe it was his name.
Okay, yeah, Gem 98.
Yeah, I think his vocals were perfect. I think he had the best vocals of the night, and that really surprised me because he's very unknown, and I don't think he ever performed on the big live stage. And he was very good live. Like the people I watched it with were also very excited about it. And I think it was the surprise of the night because the show was good, the animations were good, the filters over the screen were really nice. I really was surprised, and I liked it actually more than Tommy. So, and I did not suspect that. I really liked it.
Of all the songs, I thought I was going to hear William Lee Adams give 12 points to. I think Gem 98.
I was like, huh?
Also, I don't know about you guys. I've had my fill with William Lee Adams as a jury member now. I'm done.
I say nothing.
He has been in 5 on the row or something.
He's been in 5. To be honest, I don't like YouTubers being in juries anyway, just because they have no other qualifications other than it's all wee blogs, and their only qualification is we have views. In terms of a musical standpoint, we have just the same amount of qualifications as any Eurovision fan.
For me, it's just jealousy. So
it's no, I'm not really jealous. I just prefer if you're doing a jury, don't have Eurovision fans because they skew the jury from a musical taste. But that's a personal thing for me. I appreciate people who disagree. Astro saying Gem 95 and Yannick were the favorites outside of the top 3. Millie, we'll come to you. What was your favorite outside the top 3?
Musically, I enjoyed Yannick, like people are saying. I also enjoyed Gem 98. But Yannick, why was he in a box? It was so static. And that's what let me down with that performance. It felt so static. Because the camera were going, we're seeing him from the back, and then we're seeing him from the front. But when we're seeing him from the back, it's not like we're seeing his reflection or something in the glass. So we're just staring at his back of his head. And his vocals.
Were you not intrigued to vote for him after you saw the back of his head, Millie?
Honestly,
that's the money shot.
And I was quite disappointed because he did really well in the jury, and I was like, oh, maybe he'll get through to the super final, maybe. But then I was like, well, who's going to vote for the back of his head, which was in half the performance? I was really disappointed. And
let's not kink shame anyone, Millie. We never.
Guys, I'm sorry if you're into that. The one performance as well that I really liked the studio of. I really loved the studio of Minimal Wind, Armageddon. I was really disappointed by the actual performance.
Yeah.
The vocals were not there.
They weren't. I agree. They weren't.
Which that upset me, but if we talk about studio tracks, that would be up there. But other than the top 3 other than Tommy were my top 3, I would have probably put either Gem 98 or Yannick in my top 3 too.
Yeah, that's completely fair. My personal winner was Minimal Wind in terms of the studio. And you know what? I think their staging was damn good as well. The lighting.
I liked it. Yeah.
Just the vocals let it down, which is a real shame because after their performance in 2022, their shock in 2022, they had a lot more hype. They had a lot more hype this year, I would argue, beforehand, and it just wasn't there. Keep coming, Minimal Wind. Them and Ollie, keep coming to Eesti Laul until you win.
Yeah.
Ollie, you better be back next year, and no famous artist take his place this time. But in terms of, I will mention another act because Minimal Wind are my pick. I'll mention another act that neither of you mentioned, but I think his staging warrants to mention is Ant, Tomorrow Never Comes. In terms of the song itself, it's not necessarily for me, but the staging was very striking. It stood out. I would say his performance needed work. He just needed to loosen up a little bit. He was too timid. He was very shy at the beginning. Probably opening didn't help either, but they needed time to set up the IKEA furniture. But it's a real shame. He was second in the odds as well going into tonight. So the fact he didn't make it into the super final, quite surprising. Again, I can't stress enough, guys. Let us know your thoughts. Who are your favorites from Eesti Laul? If it wasn't Tommy Cash. Thank you, Pumpkin Rick. Estonian here. Lovely to see you then. Gem 98 and An-Marlen were robbed. Did not find Tommy's joke that funny. That promised stage show better be amazing. Has he already promised a better stage show? All right, fair enough. I am a bit like, can't these artists be a bit normal and just do good staging from the start? Like, you're meant to be competing. Karia managed it in UMK. His original staging was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I just want to bring up a sort of a topic of Eesti Laul that I've been thinking about for a while. What are your thoughts on the current system in Eesti Laul? Because the last couple years, I would say, including this one, the last 3 years, we've known the winner before the show started. Due to the super final factor and the fame levels of some of the artists. So what are your thoughts on them doing this super final system, the aggregated points, like 16, 15, that sort of thing? Do you think it maybe could do with a revamp, Eesti Laul, just the way it is? I know it wouldn't affect the results this year, but just in general. Joshua, we'll start with you.
Yeah, Eesti Laul is actually my favorite national final. It's always producing one of my favorite songs of the whole season. So song-wise, I think it's amazing. And like the person who chooses the songs that get qualified, don't change that person, please, because the songs are awesome every year. But I agree with you. The super final, like most of the time, my favorites win, so I don't really mind of it. Yeah. But like fairness, I don't think for qualifying it's really smart because you choose a song your people believe in that will qualify and it works pretty good for them. But like quality wise, like if you're famous you have a big chance, but I think Andre is more famous than Tommy Cash in Estonia.
Okay.
Like Tommy is more famous in Europe, but I just think like Tommy's song was more popular and that's why it won. So for me, the format is fine. I wouldn't change that much. You could change like 50-50. It will be fine, but I don't know if it would really change the result because Tommy Cash would have won either way because he won the juries as well. And I don't know how 5 Minutes did. But
they came, I believe. I don't know what obviously they won the jury. They won the super final. I believe in the like split vote they came second or third with the jury, and then we don't know officially, but we presume they won the televote.
I wouldn't change that much because I don't think you would have like very different winners as well. Like they came third, but last year Ollie would have won. I see now, but for me this is fine. Because my favorites win.
That's fair. To clarify, also, we appreciate that. I appreciate that changing the voting or the system wouldn't have affected the results this year. It's just more a general point, I think. Millie, what are your thoughts on the Eesti Laul system?
I have the same issue that I do with Iceland, that I'm not keen on super finals. I think, your jury and your televote should, in my opinion, be the be all end all. I understand why it's good, but I don't know, it kind of irks me off a bit because you got so many talented artists and you get in the top 3 and then it's just off televote rather than your jury points as well. Like I said, it wouldn't affect Tommy Cash this year. Would it have affected Viesmanus last year? Yeah. But also they were my favourites, so I would have liked it last year.
There's a bias. There's a bias.
I do have a bias, and I had a bias with Iceland last year, because as much as I stan Hera Björk, of course, Hera Björk Eras Tour.
Did you not want to feel it coming?
Ish komme. I also I just feel like it kind of throws away everything else, like the rest of the results. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's a bit of a weird one, but I understand why they do it, and I understand why other countries do it too. At the end of the day, I like a lot of the songs that Eesti Laul brings us. Each year, I liked a bunch of the songs last year. Like I said, Viesmanus were my favourites. They were my number 1 in all of Eurovision last year. And I liked a bunch of the songs in the national final. I loved Ollie as well. So it's just a matter of whatever they want to do, but yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. I think from my perspective, my issue is, and I agree with you, Joshua, Eesti Laul is one of my favorite national finals for song quality, because I loved a lot of the songs this year, and I usually like a lot of the songs that are in Eesti Laul. My opinion on Eesti Laul is it is a fantastic song festival. It's one of the best of the year. It is a boring national final, because for the last 3 years, you go into it knowing who's won. You don't even have to bother watching the performances. You know who's won from the hype going into it. one of the acts. I know you say Tommy Cash is more popular in Europe rather than Estonia. You've seen polls, you've seen like reaction. The last 3 years, we've known who's won. And I may be sounding like a salty Ollie fan here from the last 2 years, but like Alika, we knew was winning because she had fame in Estonia. Few Minutes, we knew were winning because they had fame in Estonia. Tommy Cash knew we were winning because he has just general fame. They've gotten, I don't want to say they've gotten away with it because at the end of the day, those three all, I think, song-wise, are good. I think they all have good songs. But my issue comes from how much they're winning the televote by. It's not necessarily changing Eesti Laul for the sake of results. It's changing it for the sake of fairness. Because as you've said, Joshua, Eesti Laul's great quality. You wouldn't necessarily know it from this year from the results. If you told someone won by 83% of the vote, you'd think, oh, every other song was terrible, which is not the case. Tommy Cash might have been the favorite amongst all the songs, not by that margin. Not by that margin at all. 5 Minutes was not the favorite amongst the fans by that margin. Alika was not the favorite by the fans by that margin. That's sort of my issue with the current system. It just like you get to a certain point, just whoever's won. I literally said of the people I was watching with tonight after the third set of vote, because I don't know about you guys, we were all sort of like, as long as he does well in the jury, he's won. Tommy Cash. After the third set of vote where he got a 12 point, I was like, well, I might as well turn this off. There's no point. There's no point watching this for any suspense. It's just, I think I'm being possibly a frustrated fan. I want to enjoy Eesti Laul. I like the excitement of a national final, not necessarily knowing who's winning. I appreciate in the long term, that doesn't matter. If Tommy Cash ends up doing a great result, you know, the suspense of Eesti Laul doesn't really matter. It's just one of those where I prefer some more songs which are good quality. Eesti Laul does have good quality to actually have a chance, which is my sort of complaint.
Yeah, the juries don't have like any say as well. Like you could just skip the juries. Like
exactly, yeah.
What is the point of them anyway? Because one song will win and it's a televote winner. So like, what is the point then?
Yeah, that's sort of my issue. And again, it hasn't necessarily affected the result. It might not have, for most years, it wouldn't have necessarily changed who went for Estonia. It's just one of those where I wish I would go in there with a bit more suspense. In some ways, I think the Eesti Laul system works if you don't have one artist that clearly is more famous than all the others, which they have sort of had the last 3 years. Like Stefan was not, like, it was a bit closer in 2022, for example, because Stefan was not miles famous than all the others. If anything, he didn't have much fame compared to like Op Lepland, Anna Celine, all that lot. It was actually a bit closer. So maybe it's a me thing. Maybe in 2026 it'll be more of an even playing field, or knowing my luck, Nublu we're going to enter and we know who's won from the start again. So let's go to some of the comments here. And then we'll wrap this up with the final question. Nicholas Bay saying, hello from Tallinn. Lovely to see you. I think Tommy ran out of breath during his performance and he better hit the gym for the rest of 3 months because it looked like he struggled. Tommy Cash is not going to, might hit the gym, but he is almost certainly going to hit the pre-party scene. He's going to be at all of those, I'm fairly certain. Estonia usually do a lot of them. I'd be surprised if he declined. So maybe that will help, just genuinely performing this more and more. That will help get his energy up. I would disagree on that slightly. I don't know many people, Malayas. I appreciate your comment. I understand it. Maybe most years. I don't think many. I think it was a bit open this year, or last year, I should say 2024. Nemo was not the odds-on favorite to win by any means. Obviously, people thought Croatia were going to. When the votes are close, when like the song level quality is good enough and close enough, it can be a bit of a.
But most of the years, I agree with it.
Most of the years, but even then, it's like I would say even then, it's like with Loreen and Kalia, it was a 50. I'd say it was more of a 50-50. I know people fought Loreen, but Kalia had a viable chance.
Yeah.
But we just need songs that have viable chances. 2021 was a bit wide open.
Yeah, that was my example.
Like, yeah, you know, there's more than one, which I can't necessarily say for Eesti Laul in terms of like actually who's winning. Astro saying, yeah, it was clear from the start Tommy was going to win. Cowboy Tree, it was Tommy Cash. It was Tommy Cash. These finals start to get a bit boring. The winner is declared beforehand. Yeah, that's sort of my point. As much as I appreciate and enjoy the song, because also it sort of means you can't really get invested in any of the other songs because you know one is winning, so you can't really get your hopes up that much. I don't know. Go on,
not to be like a Finland stan, even though everyone knows I am. One thing that UMK I think does really well is that they even when you have a big artist in UMK or a few big artists, you always know that there's a chance that one of the other songs could pivot to the post because all the songs are so good. Like this year, I mean, even let's say Karia's year, Karia was pretty unknown in Finland.
Yes.
And he was up against Robin Packalen, Horsham Boys, artists like that are absolutely huge in Finland. You look at it that, even though we kind of saw the odds and we were like, oh, well, he's really good, he's really loved in the fandom, he probably will win. When you look at the song lineup, if like a normal person that's not obsessed with Eurovision looked at the song lineup, we'd probably be like, well, I guess he's the least known, so maybe the other guys will get it. I think that's something that national finals like Finland do really well. The song quality is so good across the board that pretty much anyone could win on the right night.
Oh, I agree.
But they shall not.
They shall not. I agree. And Erica, even though she might have been one of the more well-known artists this year, part, she had the performance and she had a song that a lot of people enjoyed. I think it comes down to potentially just like a nation's perspective on how they vote.
Yeah.
Finland actually, I don't want to say they take it seriously because Estonia do take it seriously, but like Finland just go,
yeah.
Right, here are the songs, I'm voting for my favorite. I'm not voting for the artist. Kari is a great example as well because he was not the most famous and he won because of his performance. I'm just going to round this up on the final question here. Guys, if you've got any more questions or comments, do let us know. We will get to them before we finish. But as we have to do with all songs, especially if they are not in the Big Five or Switzerland, how do you think we're getting on? For context, Estonia is in the first half of semi-final 1. So in case that plays any factor into your thought process, Millie, you're shaking your head there. I'm assuming not. Just to clarify, if you think it's going to qualify, how do you think it will get on to the final as well?
Do you want me to go first?
Go for it.
It's definitely qualifying. I don't see a world where it doesn't qualify. It's not just because the song is a fun song and it's it's all televote only. It's also because he is known across Europe. There's people in the UK that know Tommy Cash. There's people especially I know I've talked to a lot of people in the UK saying, "Oh, Tommy Cash might be going to Eurovision." They're like, "Oh my God, really?" And is known across all of Europe. So I think he's going to get a decent amount of televote points. Don't know how many he'll get. I don't know, but when it comes to the final. I was thinking about this earlier. I was actually talking about it with my boyfriend because he also watched Eesti Laul. We were talking about it, and I said, you either love this song or you hate this song. You either love it and you think it's great, or you don't like it. I think because you can't vote against a song.
No.
I think it's going to get a decently big televote score. I don't think it'll be massive. I don't think it'll be like Karia levels. I don't think it'll be Joost Klein levels. What he got in the semi-final. But I do think it'll be decently big. With the jury, I don't think it's gonna get that much love. I know the jury was different here, but I think you've got some big vocalists this year. We're getting Popra from Austria. We're getting Luan in France.
Whoever Italy's sending, whoever they send, they're a good vocalist probably.
Whoever Italy's sending, they're going to eat those jury points up. So I don't see a world where this gets jury love anymore. I didn't really anyway, but definitely not now. We've got more artists on the list.
Yes.
But I do see it qualifying. I think it'll do well with the televote in the semi-finals. I think depending on what we get from other countries, that televote might be split in the final. It probably won't get as many as we saw people like Karia and Joost Klein got. That's my thoughts on it.
That's fair. Joshua, thoughts on if it will qualify, and if it does, where is it finishing in the final?
Yeah. Well, I said I was sure it would qualify easy and maybe win the televote of the whole contest. But now, after seeing this, like if nothing changes, I just looked at what songs and what countries are in their semi-final. And if I looked at it, I really see a world that he cannot qualify in if he sings this poorly and the performance doesn't elevate. But I think he's so experienced. He will improve, and he will improve his staging. I think he really listens to feedback as well. And a lot of people hated this. So I really think he will improve his staging and he will qualify with ease, I think. And it depends on what placement in the lineup he gets in the final. If he gets like last 5 placement in the final for performance-wise, I mean.
It's in the first half.
Yeah, but if it qualifies.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Sorry, I see what you mean. Yeah, carry on.
Yeah, I think it qualifies, and if it gets second half, like I see it doing better because it really needs a good placement apart from the other quirky songs that maybe come in. So yeah, I see this really low in the televote, like Windows 95 man level with the jury. I mean, like 20, like in the 20s, and then televote, I think 180 or something, and then it comes between 8 and 16, like in that area.
8 and 6. I always love your accurate numbers when it comes to your ranking and your.
I always bring that. Yeah,
I love it. I think it's fantastic. I agree. It's qualifying. I think it's between this or Poland for the opener, potentially for the semi-final one.
Poland.
I'd probably lean more Poland just because it's a more familiar sound, but you can make a case for Estonia being the opener, put it that way. In the final, I'm glad you mentioned Windows 95 man because I kind of get that vibe from him at this point. Jury, I can't see going for this. And, well, I mean, France gave it 0 even so. Bistemo, thank you so much for joining us as well. I worry that I don't know if this is going to do as well in the televote as people anticipate. I do expect him to drastically improve the staging. He is a smart man. He will elevate. I fully expect that, which is why I think it's almost certainly the final. But I don't know. I kind of get the vibe of if people don't get it, people don't get it. And I don't know. I don't think many people got Windows 95 man. And he finished 19th overall. Like, it didn't get a massive.
Don't say that to me. Don't remind me of that.
Okay, Joshua, really it only got 19th.
I'm going to start crying on the live stream.
Okay, well, either way, it wasn't one which didn't got a massive televote as maybe people expected. So if he doesn't elevate too much, I kind of see that. I don't see this winning or anything like that.
No.
Chat, I think I'd say challenge for the top 10. That's the ballpark where if you do that, you got a good result. I think the more likely thing is between like the 10s and the 20s, maybe like 17, something like that would be where my ballpark. But then again, I'm predicting quite a few songs in that ballpark recently. There's a lot of mid-table songs I feel has been added to the lineup. Let's go to some more comments here, then we will wrap this up because I believe Lithuania might be finishing. Well, Lithuania's in half an hour. God.
Is it?
It's finishing in half an hour, and San Remo is in 2 days. But that is. Hello to Rico Chris from Estonia here. It's almost midnight, and I'm blasting ESPRESSO MACCHIATO on full volume on speakers. But you know what? Genuinely fantastic for you. It's your country. You are sending an artist you love. So well done to you. I'll never deny that. Astro, Tommy is going to do good because the televote and his song is becoming popular on platforms like TikTok. I'm not going to take the TikTok vote for granted whatsoever. That means naffle, I think.
I will say as well, you can also say the same then about Mariana Conte because her song is going viral on TikTok.
Yeah. This is a Malta-free zone, Millie. We're not discussing that song in this video while I'm posting. Yes.
Love it.
Anyway, back to Estonia. Love or hate this type. Good thing that wasn't a Malta live last week, I tell you. Love or hate type of song is better than a song that you can't remember, which in my opinion were all the rest of the Eesti Laul songs. I'm not going to say all of them were that, but I can understand your point. For you, Peter, lovely for you to join us. He's going to win. Oh, love your optimism. If that's your winner, I love your optimism, and you can believe that for as long as you want. Rai Bailey, 100% qualifying. He's not winning. He can win the televote. There's a world. If he elevates the there's a world. There is a world.
Yeah.
If there are no other like mimicky songs, then I can see it. It will do better than Malta, I think.
I hope so.
In the televote, I think jury-wise, Malta will do better.
I mean, I hope 36 songs do better than Malta, but I'm a realist. But that's
we can talk about Malta for like 2 hours now.
I've already done my reaction to Malta. I've already got the hate. I can't hear anything.
Not my diva. Not my diva.
Who is your winner now, Harry?
My winner is still Greece. It's still Greece.
Greece?
Love Greece.
Yeah.
I'd
My
be shocked if
second
anything
place.
changes it tonight. And I think for Millie's sake, let's not go through my last places. But anyway, let's. And it might stay there the rest of the season. But Stemma saying Itchcoom for Expetta Macchiato. You can almost spring. Oh, so someone else read that because it means something.
Itchcoom can't for Espresso Macchiato. Play.
Yes, nice.
Finland is my winner, just to let the live know that is my winner right now.
That is completely fair. And also, how rude, it's meant to be a family show, Eurovision. People, I think, forget that.
Anyway. And Albania will win Eurovision anyway this year, if you ask me.
It's a good... Albania is a good song.
It's the best.
I love it.
It is a good song. But anyway, that's far too many songs we've discussed about. It was brilliant tonight. And the winner was Espresso Macchiato, Tommy Cash. Espresso Macchiato, sorry. But that is going to wrap us up. We have obviously some more national finals for you guys to watch. Lithuania is just about to wrap up, but in terms of live streams, we are going to do a San Remo live stream. I'm going to be on it. So if you are up for another 3 to 8 hours, you can join us for that one. If you've not got anything to do Sunday morning, you can join us for that one. But Millie, Joshua, lovely to speak to you as always. And thank you so much for joining us. In the chat, a lovely amount of chat. Right, Bailey, we're not discussing taste now. Please stop speaking. But lovely to see you all. You're all legends for joining us. You always are. And we will speak to you guys soon for another live stream on this channel. Make sure to like and subscribe as well. Forgot that part. Take care all. Bye.